Hello everybody. Okay, I'm back to do another test run on this lace paper. And gosh, I've got just so many ideas of what I'd like to do with it. So today I'm going to attempt to do this little rectangle shaped tray. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and pour some resin into the rims here in just a shallow amount over the top here. So get this going so it can start curing. I'm going to kind of rub in my alcohol there so I don't have too much just standing alcohol. And don't want too much in there, just enough to kind of cover it all, like I said. I hope you can hear me okay. I'm still kind of battling a cold that's been going through our family. So I'm ready to be on the mend, that is for sure. Okay, so I'm going to roll this down, get into the edges, roll it all the way down this way. This is just our top, this will be the top of our project, so doesn't have to be thick, but I do want it to be covered. And this is a great time to watch for those bubbles along the edges. Okay, so we'll go just a bit more. Okay, so that took, I had 8 ounces made up. That took about 1.5 ounces to cover the base of this little tray. Okay, so I'm going to let it sit for a little bit and let the bubbles rise up, and then I will spray it every once in a while. But for now, I'm just going to kind of set it over here out of my way. Give it a quick spray. Okay. So now what I want to do is I'm going to take this. Actually, I better move this over onto my curing rack. Hold on just a minute. Now I'm going to bring over my lace paper. And what I've decided to do today is this little stained glass window. Okay, so my idea for this, let's see which way is the back. This is the front. You see the pattern on this part of the window? Part of the window has a pattern there on the paper, and then this part you can tell is the back of it. Okay, so we're going to work on the front. And what I would like to do today is I would like just to take my regular inks, maybe cherry red and blue, and I think I would like to have a purple. Let's see, here's a lavender purple. So I've got red, and then maybe a yellow. No, yellow. Okay, let's see what we can do, and I'll have to try to make sure I don't run my purple and stuff together that's going to cause brown. So, okay, so what I want to do is I'm thinking about using my alcohols. I mean, these are not my alcohols, I'm sorry. My translucent pigments to drop around on my paper. And I'm assuming, hopefully, that they're just going to sink in like they did before when I was trying to paint over it with my UV resin. Kind of sunk in that first layer, so I'm kind of hoping that these will do the same. Just going to kind of go around different areas. Okay, that is definitely a nice bright purple, isn't it? Okay, now let's do some red. Pretty, huh? Okay, let's scooch it over so you can see what it looks like. Wow. Oh my gosh, look at that. That is really pretty, actually. I'm going to put my lids back on my on my things here. Let me get this up here kind of closer so you can see. Aren't those colors really pretty? Gosh, it worked really well. Oh, I see a little blank spot there. I need to fill that in with something. Gosh, I want to do yellow, but I'm not sure if that's gonna blend it in with some others, but yeah, oh my gosh, that's super, super pretty. Okay, so now what my idea to do is, I'm thinking I want to take this whole window and dip it into my resin. This is regular resin, not UV resin, so I'd have to wait to let it cure. But if I keep it clear and I put it out onto this to cure all the way, but let's try this. Gosh, I don't even know what to expect really. But the inks are still wet. I don't think that's gonna matter too much. Might make my resin kind of colorful. But let's see if I can get this in there. Some of the inks are kind of coming into the resin. Oh my gosh, how pretty is this? Wow. I can't even show you because I can't, let me see, maybe I can tilt it over. You see how some of this is actually staying inside the in the windows? Like a window. Let me see if I can lay it out here. Okay, so it would be really pretty if I could keep some of that in there. Gosh. Okay, this might end up being even more fun than I thought. Okay, let me see. Let me see, we've got some color here. Let me see if I can just like scoop it out to kind of fill in these windows. Gosh, you guys, this is really cool looking. I don't know if it's going to cure and actually turn out the way I have pictured, but if it does, wow, this could really be really pretty. Okay, so there that is. And I do see I have like some overage of resin. I'm going to try to pour it back in here. Scoop it. I mean, I don't want it really to be sitting in a huge puddle of resin. So this is what we've got so far. Okay. Has the potential to be super, super pretty. Okay, so I am going to set this over to cure. I don't think I'm going to put this in my curing machine because I don't want it to curl. The paper could curl if it gets too hot. Yeah, so I'm hoping that this doesn't do that at all. All right, so when this part's done, I'll be back and we'll peel it off of this plastic. Okay, I don't think I'm going to do a shot of alcohol on it. I don't think I need to. But all right, you guys, here it is. And I'll see you when this is cured. Okay, I'll be back. See you then. Okay, everybody, I'm back. Here is our little stained glass window. Here is the correct side. As you can see, it cured really pretty. We didn't have too much casualty, only a couple of the little side pieces here kind of snapped off. And I was trying to be really careful, but they just didn't make it. It peeled off of the plastic pretty well. So yeah, what do you think? Pretty, huh? So this is kind of sticky cured. And I'm going to go ahead and place it, I think, just kind of down carefully here, using my fingers to put it down onto the resin. Still super sticky. Okay, so now one of the things I'm going to have to do is decide what I want to do for the background. And I've got a couple of ideas for it, but I'm not sure yet. I kind of feel like I want to do maybe some light coming through this window. Either that or leave the window part see-through. Gosh, I don't know. This is when I really need the input of all of you to tell me what you think. But I just feel like this turned out really, really kind of cool. And so I want to make it, kind of keep it with kind of a special look. since they are kind of in there now, I could go in and maybe make, some more of a stained glass look in there where the windows are, where the glass part is actually stained. I'm not sure. Well, I'm going to mix up some resin one way or the other because I need to cover this and then figure out what I'm going to do. So I will think about that, and I'll be back in just a few minutes. Okay, everybody, I'm back. So I'm probably going to make this more complicated than what it needs to be because, that's how I roll. But so this is the piece of plastic that I had this laying on to cure. Okay, do you see the little outline of the window there? I'm going to cut that out and actually use this for a pattern. Okay, so I'm going to do that real quick. Okay, so here's my little template. See, I need to do just a couple little trims. Okay, that's pretty good there. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to cut out some sky, okay? So I'm going to trace this, and let's see, where do I want my sky to be? This way. Just trace this on here real quick. Double check this is where I want it. It's good enough. This. Pretty good. Just a bit. And now, and of course, a lot of you are going to be probably thinking kind of what I'm thinking, like you don't have to go, this might be overboard for some of you, and that's fine if you found a good cutoff spot here, or maybe you would use a different size tray that would fill the whole thing in, then you could just stop at that, cover it, give it a background color, or just put a clear color on it and just go with it that way. But I decided I'm going to go a bit further, and I'm going to add some trees to my window, a couple of them there, just towards the bottom, and I'm going to put that on there. And let's see, I'm going to have to try to figure this out in a way so I don't want to get any bubbles. So let me look and see here how I want to arrange my trees. I think I'm going to have this one. Actually, here's how I'm going to use this template to kind of help me figure this out, how I want this to look. And I don't really need these stickies. They just take up too much, they take up more room, really, so. Let's see, cut some of these off. That. This little small one here. I don't want any of a couple of these trees have like little jewels on them, and I don't want that. These came from, let's see, gosh, I don't know. I want to say probably Michael's, either Michael's or Hobby Lobby these stickers came from. I'm just fighting this cold, and I just cannot seem to get rid of it. Okay. There, that. Let's see, down here. Okay. I think our trees are going to be about like this. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut off this part of it here that we're not going to need. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these on. I'm just going to use a bit of glue. And when after I get them glued on, I will spray them with some sealant. Okay. I just want these two trees. I want to be able to see out my window here, so I'm going to try to coat this back of this tree pretty well so no bubbles can get underneath there. And a bit on this one. Okay, so I'm going to let these dry. Oops, switch it over where it's supposed to be. Okay, we're going to let those dry. And then I'm going to work on finding a tray like this that I've already made so I can make myself a little pattern out of that. Okay? And as soon as I figure that out, as soon as I find that tray and make a template, I will be back. Okay, so I found this tray that I did here not too long ago, this mosaic tile tray. And so I'm going to use this for my pattern, okay? So what I've decided to do is I've decided that my church is going to be made out of old barn wood. All right, so I'm going to just make myself a pattern out of the middle of this. I don't want I'm not going to use the nails. This just makes it look too much like floorboard. Okay, so I'm going to just use the middle part of this and put my tray right in the center here. And I'm going to go ahead and trace from this. Probably need to cut just a hair smaller than what this mold is, because I need it to fit flush in there. And this might, this has got a little bit of edging and stuff on it. So I'm going to go just a tiny bit on the inside of that line. Okay, so now we've got this. This is going to be the inside part of our church building. This, so that my window can stick out of there. So I've got to figure out exactly where that is. Okay, so this is going to cover this. And then this is going to go over the back of this and this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out and I'm going to spray sealant over both of these. Okay? And when these are all dry, I'll be back for the next step. Okay, everybody, I'm back. So I went ahead and I sprayed a sprayed sealer on this. I just used the decoupage spray sealer. Okay? And I sprayed both sides of both of these papers. So now what I'm going to do, I've mixed up about 6 ounces of resin, and I am going to look for my alcohol spray. Okay, I'm going to spray just a bit in my resin and just a bit across my top of my tray. And I'm going to go ahead and just pour just a little bit in here just to cover any little gaps that might be in this window. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to spray this as I see a few bubbles coming up from under my window. And so I'm going to let that sit for a second. And then after I'm sure that I've caught the bubbles here, then I am going to dip my stained my sky and trees into the resin. And I'm just going to use my little stick here to kind of help some of these little bubbles up. Okay, I don't really see anything else. I think most of this was pretty much covered with the resin. You know, between the window and the bottom of this tray, I think was covered with resin. So I shouldn't see too many more bubbles coming up. Okay. All right, so now my next step is going to be placing my sky and my trees. I'm going to use my tweezers here, and I'm going to dip it all the way down inside my resin, all the way. Okay, dunk it a couple times. That kind of is going to help get rid of the bubbles that might form underneath these trees. Okay, so now I have this facing the wrong way. I just need to place this really just in the right spot here to cover this. Okay. Don't want it to hang out over the sides. That looks like it's pretty good. I don't think I've got any other bubbles under there. Okay, so now the next step I want to do is I want to place this, and I really don't want it to move my window at all because I've kind of got it placed where I want it. I'm going to go ahead and pour a little bit more resin over this just to kind of give it a bit of weight, if anything else. Okay, so there's no real up or down to this wood. So I'm going to just go ahead and start rolling it flat. And I want to roll it so that I catch any bubbles going down. And if you just go really slowly, a lot of times you can do this and avoid getting any bubbles. Scoot it up just a bit. Hang on to my Okay, so I'm just going to kind of watch this tray. I'm not going to move it over to the curing rack right now. I'm going to watch it for any more overage and just give it another spray or two of alcohol. And then we'll be ready to unmold this tomorrow. It looks pretty good, guys. All right, I'm going to let you go, and I will see you when this is cured tomorrow. Hello, everybody. Okay, I'm back today to unmold this. My plan was to do a solid colored background on this before I unmolded it, but I filled it too full, so it's all the way to the top. So what I'll have to do is, after I unmold it and see what the colors look like on the other side, just do a kind of a top coat just out to the edges of a color, okay? But for now, let's take this out and see if the window and the sky and everything turned, if it stayed lined up the way that I had hoped. This is still just a bit bendy, I noticed, so I'm going to have to make sure that I lay this flat when I'm done looking at it here. Sorry about that. I don't know what it is about unmolding something and just, you know, not being able to leave it alone. Okay, so here we go, guys. I'm not sure which way's up, but here we go. Good luck. Oh, wow, it did work. Look at this. Oh my gosh, look. What do you think? Wow. That actually really did turn out. Yeah, I see I have like some swishy scratch molds that must have been in my, yeah, I can see them. They're in my mold here. So the looks like I went just a bit outside the line here with my sky. I guess my windows, this is an old building though, right? So I guess it's not uncommon to see through to the outside in some buildings. Oh my gosh, so gosh, this was really a fun technique to try. So with the brown behind this, but behind the window there, that's why I wanted to add a really bright white background to this, because I thought it might help brighten up the window. So I'll see if I can find something white to put this behind to see if it would make any difference if we do a flood coat. But the idea is there, that's for sure. Yeah, that is definitely for sure. We could have probably even left the trees out and just done the sky. But how cool is this? I'm actually pretty amazed by it. So hang on, let me see if I can find a white something. So yeah, like I said, I'm not sure this is going to make too much of a difference, but it'd be fun to try it out and see. Okay, so here it is, and then if you put the white, let's see here. Oh, you know what? I don't know that it's going to make too much of a difference as far as like the trees and things go. Let's see, here it is with it, without it. There's half and half. I don't know. What do you guys think? You can see some difference there, right? What about the trees? Does that make a difference with the trees? Let's see. Not as much of a difference as what I would have hoped. Makes more of a difference, I guess, just with the boards. The boards on the church. All right, well, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that part yet, but I do know that because I had the scratches in the surface of my mold, that's going to really bother me. So I am, again, going to do just a little bit of a top coat. All right, you guys, I'll be back in a bit and we'll do the next step. Okay, everybody, and back with some resin made up, and I'm going to pour just, not very much, maybe about a half an ounce or so in here. Just enough to coat this bottom part of this tray. And, one of the things that I was going to say is that I really like how the wood from our cardstock comes in through these rims. I just really like that. So we're not going to do anything with those. I'm not going to paint any kind of trim or border on it. So yeah, just going to go ahead and do this and give it a quick spray. Really just a light mist. That's all you want. Yeah, really brings out the window. So pretty. Sometimes even if this did have a glossy finish on the front without the scratches in my mold, it's still nice to put a top coat on things if you want to bring out the depth. I usually prefer doing it this way over using a craft stick or spatula to spread my resin. I find that it usually does a better job of just kind of self-leveling without it needing any help. Put a bit of alcohol in here. I see I got a little bit of resin from my glove on the rim. Get that off while it's just wet on there. All right, gosh, you guys, how pretty. All right, let me spray my gloves real quick before I pick this up. Have that happen again. Okay, I'm going to set this over on the curing rack to cure. Pretty, really pretty. So, like I said earlier, this may be a bit much for some of you. I know that some of my viewers, I think like for me to keep it a little simple, at times, and that's great. I just take this project, end it wherever you would like in the process. But I really just wanted to give this a try and see what it would look like making this into a building. I actually think it turned out pretty well, and yeah, I'm excited for it to cure all the way. And when it does, I'll be back and we'll just do our kind of our final look at it. And yeah, I'll be back then. All right, see you in a bit. All right, everybody, here is our finished result with the top coat of resin on it, and now it has a really nice glossy finish to it, and it brings out the depth and the colors of the window. This was kind of fun, honestly. I'm really loving this lace paper, and there's just so many different ideas that I have of things to do with it. This one, I wasn't really planning on turning it into a building. It just kind of evolved from there. So, I mean, we got the window done with the stained glass, and then it just looked kind of lost in that tray. So I thought this was a really fun way to kind of use it. And yeah, I'm excited to try some more. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video if you'd like to see more. And I decided not to do anything with the back. I'm probably just going to put some little rubber bumper feet on the bottom of it. But yeah, super cute. Really love it. I'm glad we're leaving the edges alone. Yep, it's great. It was so much fun. Thank you guys all for joining me. I appreciate all of your input and your patience with everything. And I will see you again next time.